dt125 stripped down again, so I've been having some problems with it. I've had to remove this side casing because the bike's not been running properly. I was at a bit of a loss as to what it is. Obviously the first thing was the spark plug, then the carburetor. I've stripped the carb down umpteen times, I've set it and reset it. There was a bit of shit in there, but I've cleaned all that through, and now the fuel is lovely and clean going through into the carb. I've done various different things. I had a spare cylinder on shelf. I even put a new piston and cylinder on the bike, as I thought it was low in compression when I compression tested it, but it turns out that the compression was okay. Anyway, what I've found out, so going through all these different checks like you do, trying to find the problem, what I've worked out is this here. So this slips over the crankshaft there, and it goes against the seal, so the seal fits in here. So the seal goes in there, and then this slips over there, and obviously that seals it from the bottom of the crankshaft on the intake there. It seals the bottom end. What I think's been happening is what I'm going to try next. I'll just put that seal down. If I can just get on there. So that looks badly worn to me. It's quite a ridge on there. I cleaned it up. I mean, I thought a new seal would have sealed okay, but to be honest, what I really should have done is turned it around and put it in that way. So with the new seal that I've just had delivered, I'm going to put this back on there the other way around, so hopefully the seal will seal on here, and stop the oil from going through into the bottom of the crank, being drawn up into the piston and fouling the plug, because that's what I think the problem is. The plug seems to be wet every time. It won't rev up, it's just bogging down. Normally when an engine bogs down, a two-stroke engine bogs down like that, it can be not getting enough fuel, but in this case, with the spark plug actually being wet, it's like it's being killed by oil mixing in the fuel, and that would be from it being drawn in from the crankshaft, from the gearbox side here. So the gear oil did seem a bit lower as well, so that's also sort of going in the direction that it is the crankshaft seal, because it'd be drawing oil through into the crank. So I've ordered a new seal from Yambits, and I'm going to get that on now. I'll build it back up and I'll kick it over and I'll see if it runs. I'm hoping that it will run, because I mean obviously I've not done a few videos for a while, and I've not put much content up for a while because I've been chewing on with this bike and also my customers' jobs as well. Doing these videos, it takes up a lot of time, and really I've not had the time to do them. I've just needed to get on with the jobs that I've had in hand, that being trying to sort this blooming bike out and also my customers' work. Also, I wanted to check the timing. I can't see it being a timing issue. I also replaced the stator on the bike just in case that was causing a problem. It's not that. That's not the problem, but I thought I would try it anyway. But I've bought this just a little extra useful tool to have, just so I can check the spark whenever needed. So that goes onto the top of the plug, and then it goes to the plug cap, and it's just so you can see the spark and see what it's doing. Just a handy little tool I bought. Anyway, I'm going to get this built up, and then I'll see if it runs. Right, I'm going to put a bit of this on here. that seal in there. I'm hoping it's in flush. Now I'm going to put this in. I'm going to give it plenty of lubrication. This up. Get the clutch on. Oh, but first, this needs to go back on. I've got that side casing on and all fastened up. The kickstart's back on. The pump's all sealed back up. Next, I've just took the half of the power valve out. I'm going to have a look at the power valve and check that over because it's a bit tight. So I'm going to see if I can free that off a little bit. So it's got like a bush type of thing with a seal on that goes in first. I've just took this down slightly because it was quite tight. I'm going to reassemble it and see what it's like. So what I've worked out is the inner actually turns inside that bush. That bush is supposed to be pressed in the barrel. But before, the outer bush piece, that was actually turning. But I was unsure what was what because it's got a seal on it as well. But yeah, so that's supposed to be pressed in there and then that internal bit is just supposed to turn like that. So this is all working properly now. And that's where it wants to be. Get some water back in it again. Hopefully it won't piss out and leak anywhere. Might have spoke too soon. I had a bit of a leak down here because I've got to tighten one of these bolts up like a numpty. Anyway, get the oil in now. So it was 750 ml, I've got 500 in here. I'll have to go and open another one up. Pour it sideways so I don't get too much coming out at once. I'll do for that one. So that's got 500 in and I want 1.5 out of this. Spot on. Just got to put the exhaust on now and then it'll be the moment of truth. Right, I'm going to open up that big door and I'm going to kick it over and see if it runs. And if it doesn't run, I'm at a total loss. And join me in the next video where I'll be setting fire to the bike.